Hello everyone, and welcome to Hunter x Hunter Institute, the best place for us to do research about Hunter x Hunter and discuss it with our fellow fans. And the highlight of our video today, Halkenburg Hui Guo Rou. He's the 9th prince of the Kakin Empire, and one of the leading candidates to be the successor of the throne. One main reason a lot of fans agree with this is that Halkenburg's guardian spirit beast and his Nen ability combined is one of the strongest among the princes. So this time, let's have an in-depth discussion about Prince Halkenburg. Before we continue, we'd like to remind our fellow fans that some parts of this video are not included in the printed volumes of Hunter x Hunter. We're here to speculate the research that we've done about the series and discuss them together with you. With that said, grab your snacks, sit back, and enjoy. Let's start. 1. Halkenburg Hui Guo Rou. As we know, he's the 9th prince of the Kakin Empire. His mother is the 2nd queen, Duazil. He has 3 other siblings from the same mother fighting for the throne. 2nd Prince Camilla, 3rd Prince Tupepa, and 7th Prince Lazurus. When he was 15, he skipped several grades and entered Maui University, the world's top most prestigious university. Aside from being intelligent enough to be admitted to the best university at a young age, he's also talented when it comes to archery, having won a silver medal at the World Archery Competition. His achievements are quite exceptional, even when compared to the other princes. Despite his skills and accomplishments, he doesn't really have a good relationship with his mother and his older sisters. He had even publicly said this. He also openly criticizes the royal family and has the intentions of changing its politics. With all this said, the only one that he actually acknowledges among the princes is the 4th Prince Serednik. In chapter 358, we see Halkenburg talking with Serednik during the departure ceremony. There haven't been any scenes of them making contact since the succession battle has begun, but as Hunter x Hunter Institute members, we'll be closely paying attention to their future movements. Are you also excited to see any future interactions from these two princes? Moving on. It was Halkenburg who Kurapika wanted to work for as a bodyguard when they were applying for the position. Based on his research, Kurapika concluded that if he can become one of Halkenburg's bodyguards, then he would be able to get closer to Serednik. By doing this, he will be one step closer to getting back the eyes of his clan. During the recruitment for the bodyguards, Kurapika didn't really know who among the Kakin princes would be his client, but he tried to make an intelligent guess by reviewing the specifics of the requests. After some careful considerations, Kurapika decided to apply for the one which was most likely to be Halkenburg's. Instead of the 2nd prince, Kurapika's clients turned out to be the 14th prince's mother, Queen Oito. He was to be the bodyguard of Prince Wobble, who was still a baby. Queen Oito informed Kurapika that Halkenburg was not recruiting for any bodyguards, so none of the job posts was from him. And so the succession war for the throne began. As soon as it did, Halkenburg announced to Queen Nasubi, "I don't need such a bloody throne." He also informed the king that he was withdrawing himself from the succession war. One of Halkenburg's private soldiers, Yoshihiro, mentioned that it was Halkenburg's earnest wish for the monarchy to be abolished. The succession war seems to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Halkenburg to achieve his goal to dissolve the monarchy, but because he did not want to participate in such a battle where the princes would be killing each other, he decided to tell Nasubi that he was withdrawing from it. This shows us that the succession war is against Halkenburg's policies and beliefs, and so when 12th Prince Momose was killed, the first death among the princes, Halkenburg tried demanding King Nasubi to stop the succession war. However, he was not granted audience to see the king. He declared that he was prepared to go back as many times as needed and even risked the chance of getting imprisoned. After 4 days of waiting for the royal army to lower their guard, Halkenburg and his private guards took some drastic actions. They pulled out their guns to the army guards and Halkenburg forces his way into his father's room. As soon as he entered the room, he pointed a gun at King Nasubi and ordered him to stop the succession war. Nasubi didn't react, nor did he consent to Halkenburg's demand. Halkenburg fired at Nasubi, but the bullet stopped mid-air. Nasubi told Halkenburg that he himself is a part of the ceremony and that he has a duty to fulfill. Because of this, he cannot die, not until the succession war is over. Halkenburg moved to point the gun to his own head to shoot himself. Before the bullet could hit him, his own guardian spirit beast took the bullet, preventing Halkenburg's attempted suicide. It was a testimony to what Nasubi said, that it was impossible to escape from the seed urn ceremony. When Nasubi told him, "You say you don't need something like a king. Say that again when you yourself become a king." With this, Halkenburg's resolve took a 180. From here on, Halkenburg's goal of stopping the succession war changed into winning it. With his strong Nen ability, he defeated Benjamin's private soldier in an instant. Right now, he's the most dangerous man, according to First Prince Benjamin. This is quite something coming from him, since he has the highest ranking among all the princes. Later on, Balsamilko, one of Benjamin's private soldiers, suggested a strategy against Halkenburg. With this strategy, Halkenburg got detained by the International Permit Agency. With this, Halkenburg was separated from his own private soldiers. It is most likely that Benjamin and his group are aiming for the chance to get Halkenburg out of action. With this, we can see that Halkenburg is viewed as dangerous enough that Benjamin himself deems it important Halkenburg gets eliminated. His abilities are definitely quite powerful after all. 2. Halkenburg's personality. According to Queen Oito, Halkenburg is very strict to himself and to everyone. He has a strong sense of justice, and is very strong to the point that he's not afraid of going against the king and asserting his feelings just to follow the principles that he believes in. The rules of the succession war go against his principles, and so when Prince Momose lost her life during this battle, Halkenburg did not think twice of voicing out his opposition against it to the king. If we don't do anything here, and it ends up with another victim, then it's the same as letting them die. He said these words with his tears flowing from his eyes. Despite how strict he is, we can see that he has a kind heart who does not want to see other people dying just for the sake of the throne. How do his private guards see him? One of them, Sumidori, has willingly agreed to follow Halkenburg's orders regardless of how dangerous and life-threatening the orders are. Such actions are impossible if there's no trust between the prince and his guard. In short, Halkenburg, despite being strict towards everyone, is a kind person who is well trusted by his comrades. No matter what it takes, he's going to do everything he can to win the succession war. 3. Halkenburg's Nen abilities. He has the ability to transform his own aura into a bow and use it to fire arrows containing his will. His ability reflects his words. A battle is the destruction of an enemy's will using force. The target who gets hit by his arrow will have their own will get taken out of their body. The offensive power of this arrow is able to penetrate any kind of defense that the enemy has. Any kind. With an ability like this, it's a sure win in a one-on-one fight. We get to see this in action when he faced Benjamin's private soldier, Shikaku. In their fight, Shikaku tried to use his Nen ability, Cold Sept, against Halkenburg. With this ability, he was able to use his Nen to produce something similar to a shield. The Nen ability that he received from this is then converted into a card. Halkenburg's arrow was able to smash the shield in an instant, piercing through Shikaku's body. Despite being pierced through by the arrow, Shikaku's physical body didn't get any injury. This is to say that anyone who gets hit by Halkenburg's arrow will not be hurt physically. It's reasonable to say that this is quite a strong ability, and just like all strong Nen abilities, this one also has a limitation. That is, in exchange for the ability to take over the will of the target, one of Halkenburg's subordinates must have their own consciousness transferred to the body of the target. In this case, it was his private guard Sumidori whose consciousness got transferred to Shikaku's body. To put it simply, Shikaku's body got possessed by Sumidori's soul, while Sumidori's own physical body became unconscious. In order to find out more about this ability, Halkenburg and his team connected Sumidori's physical body to a machine that can monitor his pulse and brainwave. With the help of this machine, they found out that even though Sumidori's soul was in Shikaku's body, there were no irregularities with Sumidori's physical body. The numerical data from the machine show that it was like being in a state of sleep. Halkenburg himself still hasn't fully understood his own ability. To further understand this ability, Halkenburg gave Sumidori, who was still in Shikaku's body, an order, to which Sumidori accepted wholeheartedly, despite the risks that it entailed. Sumidori went to the entrance of Prince Lazuru's quarters and exclaimed, "Long live Prince Benjamin," before he proceeded to shoot himself. Later on, we see Sumidori's actual body waking up from the state of sleep. His hands were tied to his back while he sat face to face with Halkenburg. Halkenburg asked him, "Your affiliation and ID number." It has not yet been revealed what happened next, so we are still unsure whether it was really Sumidori's soul who returned to the physical body. On Benjamin's side, he received Shikaku's Nen ability through his Nen ability, called Benjamin Baton. Because of this, Benjamin himself was able to confirm that Shikaku had indeed lost his life. After that, Vict, another one of Benjamin's private guards, was also sent to Halkenburg. Unfortunately for him, his attacks proved useless against Halkenburg, and he ended up getting defeated. Just before he was beaten, Vict reported to Benjamin about Halkenburg's power. In a struggling voice, he managed to tell them, once Halkenburg has raised his bow, he's undefeatable. Any attack won't work. Halkenburg's attack is not only able to get through any defense, he's also invincible when attacking. It seems like it's an overpowered ability topped with another overpowered ability. Another thing that many noticed, including Benjamin's army, is that every time Halkenburg uses his bow, there's a rumbling sound that could be heard by those in another room. If it's compared to a destructive force, then it would be similar to a falling meteor with a 5-meter diameter, exceeding the speed of sound. Even if you are a Nen user or not, once you get hit directly, it will only result in death. This kind of an overpowered ability doesn't only belong to Halkenburg himself. As Benjamin put it, it's an ability formed with the strength of Halkenburg's entire army of private guards. In simple terms, teamwork. 4. Halkenburg's Guardian Spirit Beast. When Halkenburg and his private guards were offering a silent prayer for the deceased 12th prince, Momose, his guardian spirit beast appeared. Being a Nen user, when Shikaku saw the dreadfulness of the aura coming from the group, he was very alarmed by it. Different to the form of the other prince's guardian spirit beasts, the one that Halkenburg has is a joint-type party form. In other words, when a group of people sharing the same will synchronize themselves with one another, it creates a huge amount of aura. This guardian spirit beast is an enhancer with a symbiotic type ability. If more people with the feather mark gather around the prince, the higher the potential of each individual increases. With the group sharing the same will as each other, there's a huge possibility that their power is the greatest among all the Nen abilities once they have activated their ability. The feather mark is the sign that they were one of the people who share the same aspirations as Halkenburg. If the mark disappears in about 10 minutes, then it shows that the person is not loyal to Halkenburg. Another thing is that if a person who is not loyal to Halkenburg receives the feather mark, then their memory becomes vague. This can be considered as a manipulation type of ability that can revise memory. Even if the Guardian Spirit Beast itself belongs to the enhancer with a symbiotic type category, the personality of the princes has effects on it. With Halkenburg's case, the mark's effect allows the Guardian Spirit Beast to use manipulator abilities, since it is affected by Halkenburg's nature and personality. In other words, if Halkenburg's Guardian Spirit Beast can erase and revise memories, then it might be able to falsify the memories of the private guard serving Benjamin. Instead of targeting Halkenburg or the other princes, their memories might be tweaked into thinking the target is Benjamin. Considering this, don't you agree that this is an overpowered ability? 5. Halkenburg's weak point. What do you think is his weakness? Considering the specifics of his Nen ability, it's easy to say that his weak point is him being separated from his private guards, right? His Nen ability allows him to use a special bow and arrow, but it has the limitation of having to exchange one of his subordinates' consciousness to possess the target. He won't be able to use it just by himself. It's also important to consider that his Guardian Spirit Beast is a joint-type party form. When the group synchronizes their breath and will, they're able to create a huge amount of aura. When he is surrounded by all of his private guards, then Halkenburg becomes the strongest character with the greatest destructive ability among all the Nen abilities we know of. In contrast to this, when he's separated from his private guards, then it would mean that he won't be able to use any of his abilities. Unfortunately for Halkenburg, in the current flow of the story, Balsamilko has come up with a strategy that might mean his defeat. They have separated Halkenburg away from his private guards. He's now in a situation where his life is on the line. In certain conditions, Halkenburg might just be the strongest prince, but right now, he's unable to meet those conditions. Whether he would be defeated or not, the outcome of this will surely have a great impact on the future of the succession war. Are you looking forward to see who will rise as the new king of Kakin? We sure are. And with that, we have delved into a deeper analysis of Halkenburg Hui Guo Rou. Fellow Hunter x Hunter fans, do you think Halkenburg has a chance to win the succession war? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so do share them down below in the comments section. Most of the prince's private guards have excellent skills. Among these skilled private guards, Balsamilko certainly stands out. Prince Benjamin, who Balsamilko serves, Prince Camilla, who has the ability to revive herself, Prince Halkenburg, who has one of the strongest abilities, Prince Serednik, who is the most influential and the big favorite, Prince Wobble, who is being served and protected by one of the main characters, Karapika. Who's going to be the next king of Kakin? It's difficult to know who will win the succession war, isn't it? If you're one of us who's curious about what will happen in Kakin's succession war, then you're already a member of the Hunter x Hunter Institute. Today onwards, we'll continue exploring the wonders of Hunter x Hunter by serving you great videos about our favorite series. For the sake of these great videos, we'll continue doing our research and discussions. So, fellow researchers, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join us in our future ventures. That's all for today. See you again on our next video.